till I had seen the full video because I saw clips of it. I didn't want to talk about it till I seen videos, but I've seen the full video, the stabbing, everything. A lot of these videos don't show the stabbing, and a lot of these videos don't show how everybody on the back of the bus just walked by after it happened. Now, some people see the clip of the people walking off the bus after the guy's just leaving, and they think, well, that happened too fast. You can't even see the stabbing. That wasn't the stabbing. That's edited out, or you're seeing what happened after. He slashes across her, there's blood drops all over. It's very clear to everyone around, and they didn't care. They didn't react. They just let it happen. They just let him walk out. But I want people to remember, especially my people, that the Ashkenazi occupy this country. They control the bank and the media, and they want blacks to do their dirty work for them. They want whites to do their dirty work for them. They want us to exhaust each other in a race war that's unprofitable and unbeneficial for us or anyone. This is a single man. He is part of a group of people that statistically are more likely to commit violent crime. I know some of y'all don't get per capita. You don't get that, but I'm not gonna really go into that too much. But the actions of one man, it doesn't justify collective punishment on the group. We're not Ashkenazi here. We're not about to go level a whole group of innocent people into rubble because of what one person did. It's very telling how much pressure has to be put on the Ashkenazi media for them to report on this. And you know good and well, if a white man had stood up on a bus and stabbed a black lady, slashed her throat all open in front of everyone, and said, "I'm going to take care of this black woman," and just killed her, it would be in every state, on the news, on the national news, everywhere, and would be being talked about how, now this story is only getting spread around on social media. Once enough pressure gets put on the media, they'll cover it. But I've seen the full video. I've seen where he slashes her throat, all of it. I've seen the whole thing. And the passengers definitely did see it. They definitely did see the knife go across here, stab, stab, stab. And a lot of people are only seeing the video after all that's already took place, and they're walking away, and they're like, well, it was too quick to see. Like, they thought that the people around didn't see it. Yeah, they saw it. Eventually, you'll probably see the whole video. Most of it edits that part out. But definitely everyone around on the back of that bus could tell. Is that how you learn to be a psycho? Is what how I learned how to be a psycho? I'm not a psycho. Southern Mofo. I don't know if I know you. I never have been a psycho. I've always had empathy. I did learn how to suppress it to some degree. Like when my granddaddy was teaching me to catch fish, I didn't want to put the cricket on the hook. I felt bad for the cricket. I didn't, and my granddaddy was just like disgusted with me. He's like, look, we got to eat. We got to have food. We got to catch these fish. Fuck that cricket. Stab that. It was like it was a weakness is how he saw it. So I don't know. I don't know if you mean psycho, like psychopath, psychopathy, psychedelic, psycho. I don't know what you mean by that. But no, I did not learn how to become a psycho. I learned how to regulate my emotions. But no, I'm talking about, I don't even know the name of the woman from Ukraine. I don't even know the name of the black man that stabbed her, but I saw the whole video. There's a guy who's downloaded the whole thing. It's been leaked, so now you can watch the stabbing, the blood, the gore, all of it, from beginning to end. And my point, I wasn't delighting in violence. My point is, when you see those passengers just each get up and walk away one by one, when they show that video, you're not seeing what happens before that. So some people think that little movement that he makes and that little assault at the end is the attack, and they give the bystanders the benefit of the doubt that it was too fast for them to see. That is something he did after the stabbing and the slashing. It's been edited out, or they're not showing the beginning of it. Some people show the beginning and the end and they edit that middle part out. But I've seen the whole video. I didn't go really looking for the whole video. I just happened to come across it. I mean, I was looking in comment sections and but someone had posted a link. I just lost service for a second. But I've seen the whole video in the entirety now, and I can say this. He definitely killed her. She did not do anything to provoke it. He definitely violently done it in a way with wide gestures to where everybody saw it. Nobody helped her. After she was bleeding out, they just got up one by one, let her bleed out and die. Now, some of this could be that they just don't care. Maybe some people were in shock. But I think that it's kind of safe to say that they just didn't give a fuck. They just didn't care. And this is like something that, like, it's kind of I don't know if this is humor. I don't know what this is. But you can say what you want to say about segregation, but white women weren't getting stabbed to death by black men on the back of buses during segregation. I'm not advocating for segregation. And I guess it's not even funny to make jokes about this. That's kind of a joke, but I'm kind of making a serious point. I don't know. I guess it's not even a joke. I guess it is a joke. It just doesn't feel like a joke. Maybe it's not funny. It is kind of funny because of the tension and the awkwardness of it and I don't know. It's not really funny. But I don't know. Like I've said before, I've said this a lot. There's normally never a perfect solution. There's only trade-offs. So you improve something in one area and you fuck something up somewhere else. Human history is a story. Oh, I said the F word and lost some viewers. Human history is like a drunk man falling off the left side of the horse, trying not to fall off the right side, or falling off the right side, trying not to fall off the left side, like leaning, overcompensate one way or another. And, but I saw the whole video. And definitely the people sitting behind her and beside her definitely saw it. Definitely knew that she'd been stabbed and needed medical attention. Definitely just walked by and left her there to bleed out and die. Hey, bro, checking in. Hey, everybody. Yeah, empathy. Southern Mofo, who are you? Do you know me personally? Like, what are you talking about? How are you doing? I don't know. I kind of got a little bit of a cold. I'm kind of grouchy because what, baby? You go to bed? Yeah, I'm going to go to bed soon. But anyway, I wasn't going to make a video about it till I saw the whole video. And I also saw people in the comment section talking about a race war. That would be ridiculous. Like, it's not like all of the black people in the world collectively got up together and stabbed this white woman to death. So that would just be ridiculous. But I do think the Jews have been trying to provoke a race war since the 60s. And I think Ashkenazi, I'm not talking about all the Jews, but like the Ashkenazi Jews in Israel give vaccines to Ethiopian Jews to sterilize them. And I wouldn't put it past them to do it again. Also, Zelensky's a Jew, and he's of the same family that was behind the mass starvation of Christians back in the Bolshevik days. Why am I saying hey so much? I don't know. Hello. Tell your girl I said hi. Chat saying hey. We about to go to bed, though. I got to go to work in the morning. I got to work sick because I need the money. I just can't rest until I get better. So I'm happy, but I feel like shit because Jews can stay on the other side of the pond. If only they would, right? They trick everybody to see the nation. They get us to bleed so much so they can have Israel, but then they don't want to move there. They want to be in Miami. They want to be in New York. They want to be in Brussels. They want to be in Prague. They want to be everywhere. Everywhere. And then it's really like, I kind of feel bad for the Palestinians, but I know if the Palestinians come over here, they'd be trying to implement Sharia law. So they're not really an ally either, but it's easy to kind of see them as the underdog and kind of feel bad because they don't really deserve what they're getting. At the same time, I don't know. It's just, the Jews ain't going to quit though. They're going to forever tell their sons, like, you're the best people. You have souls. They don't have souls. They're all supposed to be your property. Smile at them, but secretly hate them. And they said never again and meant it. No, they didn't. If they would have meant it, they wouldn't be doing it themselves. The thing is, the Jewish history isn't given in context, right? You're just told something bad happened to them and they never want nothing bad to happen to them again. That really leaves out a lot of context. It's not Jews were working all together all around the world to try to enslave all non-Jews to be little serfs on their worldwide communist wet dream. Like they starved millions of people, they killed millions of people. They were killing anyone who had any faith. They burnt people in churches. They crucified Christians. They killed hundreds of millions of Christians. And people kept going to the League of Nations and being like, look, they're crucifying and burning and raping all these Christians and trying to implement an atheistic state over here. Do something about it. And nobody would do anything about it. And eventually, Hitler just wasn't going to watch all these Germans just be crucified and have the Jews were put in like a tether pole that hang people from a rope and cut out a part of their stomach and attach their intestines to spin them around and have their guts pull out of them. They would take all the food from the farmers and make them starve to death. They put people in work. They put people in concentration camps before they got into concentration camps. They kept doing it 50 years after they were liberated from concentration camps. The Jews kept on putting Christians in concentration camps and torturing them, all during the Soviet Union. A bunch of Jews would put machine guns behind the backs of the Russians, give them bolt action rifles with a 4 ammo capacity, and they'd say, "Go, go, go, go! You meat shield, or if you come back this way, we want to shoot you with a machine gun." And they just threw them all like a meat grinder. They didn't care how many Russians died, just like Zelensky don't care how many Ukrainians die. It's just. Yeah, the Jews said never again and meant it. Fuck what? They're over there. They still force sterilizing people. They're still genociding people. They're still talking about one day sterilizing all of the non-Jews, replacing us with robots and only Jews inheriting the world. They're still calling Europe Amalek like they were before World War I. They wrote 4 books about how the white race was the warrior race that needed to be destroyed and how they would rule Europe from the heart of Germany before World War I. And I'm not mistakenly saying before World War II. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous to gas. You know, they planned to destroy Germany. They told the Germans they were going to destroy them. They told them they were Amalek. They get ready to destroy them. They're pushing transgenderism on the German children. They're doing the first sexual reassignment surgeries in Berlin. They're fucking causing the hyperinflation. Like we get told in America, the Jews got blamed for everything and they didn't do anything and he just scapegoated them. And I'll tell you they were guilty. They were trying to usurp the state. They were murdering millions of Christians. They were subversives. They were poisoning wells. They were doing ritual sacrifices. And the ones that weren't would cover for the ones that did because they hate to see a Jew tried in a non-Jew court. The Talmud says, if a Jew is slapped by a non-Jew, the non-Jew is to be put to death. But if a Jew kills a non-Jew, there's no penalty. Okay, so people was wise. They knew how the Jews thought, what they said about them, what they were planning on doing. And everyone said, no, Germany, you can't kick the Jews out or you'll turn into the fucking mud huts. You'll go back in time. You'll have a brain drain. They kicked the Jews out and become the most scientifically advanced nation on the face of the planet. They said, no, we can just educate the peasants. They can do the same thing. And they did. So I don't know what you're talking about whatever, whoever, and I don't care who I offend or whatever. But yeah, the Jews say never get. The Jews always, like, rabbis get caught all the time spray painting swastikas on graves to fake being victims when nobody's really hating on them. And they get caught all the time killing babies by giving them herpes while they're sucking on their dick after they circumcise them. I don't have, like, I know the Muslims, Muhammad was influenced by the Talmud and there's a lot of sick shit in the Quran. I know it, you know, but all the focus gets put on the Muslims because they're really open about it. The Muslims will tell you they want to conquer the planet. The Jews are all quiet about it. They're like, we're your friend. We're nice. We just want to build things. We just want to invent things. We just want to give each other Nobel Peace Prizes. But they said never again and meant it. What is that? Are you saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much in that. I don't know what you mean by that. And I'm guessing all kind of things you can mean by that. Like they just have to genocide the Palestinians to prevent another October 7th that they knew about a year in advance and took the IDF off the border to let them cross into the land. Told everybody those decapitated babies, never showed any videos of it, then admitted that it was a lie. And then they used that to justify leveling cities all along the Mediterranean coast, leveling the whole strip. Then they starve them to death while eating barbecue in front of them. I mean, I don't even, I'm not a Muslim sympathizer, right? Muhammad has sex with a 9-year-old, and now Muslims can't ban child marriage because they think Muhammad was the perfect example. I'm not pro-Islam at all, but I just know Judaism is worse. They're just more sneaky about it. It's the same thing. The only reason we're not slaves is everybody wants to conquer the world. The Catholics want to conquer the world. The Muslims want to conquer the world. The Jews want to conquer the world. All the different ethnicities want to conquer the world, and they get in each other's way. Thank God, because if there's only one of them, they'd have probably already got there by now. But meanwhile, I really do believe that they're working on their AI. They're working on their robots. They're working on taking over the world. They're just genociding people right in front of our face while playing victim. And they would love for black people and white people to start killing each other. They would love that. They would love for us to self-reduce the population. And so what I'm saying is that black guy that stabbed a Ukrainian woman to death, that's terrible. Now, if she would have known stats, she was at a friend's house that had a Black Lives Matter poster and all, and racism could have protected her. I'm not advocating for racism, but if she was a racist, she wouldn't have sat there in that group of black people. But she had to show that she wasn't a racist. So she had to go sit in that group. There's a lot of empty chairs between the back of the bus where the blacks were and the front of the bus, but she chose to go sit down there right in front of them. He stabs her to death. All the other black people watch and they walk off, and none of them help her while she bleeds out to death. Had she been like, 6% of the population, like if you just talk about the white men between the ages of 16 and 50, because that's who's doing most of the violent crime, not the black women, even though they do violent crime. So a lot of times people say 15% is doing 50% of the violent crime, but it's more like 6% is doing 47% of the violent crime. Talking about young black men mostly. And had she known those stats, which she probably ain't allowed to know them because she'd be like, oh, that's racist. I can't know that. If she'd known those stats, she would have been like, I'm safer over here. But she had to go prove how tolerant and accepting she was, and she got stabbed to death, and she's dead now. I'm friends with, I have black friends, and they watch these videos, but I like Pookie and I like Walla, but I don't like all black people. I don't like all white people. But I do think that black people, like I'm a race realist, okay? I believe that what's his name? I can't think of his name right now, dang. Watson. My boy Watson. He's like a modern day Galileo. He's telling the truth. He discovered the structure of DNA. He isolated genes. He showed how they certain genes, how they were involved in what ratios of prefrontal cortex you get, nerve function, the efficiency of nerves. Like he had real science behind it. Now, two Jews on Google, they've put it at the bottom of the algorithm. It's hard to find now that they've stripped him of his titles and Nobel Prize. But he's like, hey, there is a difference in intelligence among the races. And you can Google World IQ Map, and they'll show it to you. But then they'll tell you it don't exist. And every study they do trying to change it. And I know stress in childhood, malnutrition, all those things can affect IQ scores, but not that much. You can fight really hard. You can go, and they've went in there since educating schools and teaching them all these concepts, doing everything they can to try to get the IQ in the Congo to be the same as the IQ in Sweden. And it's not going to happen until you get enough people in Congo to move to Sweden. Used to, the pain wasn't so bad, you know. Northern Europe was more intelligent than Southern Europe, but not that much. Southern Europe was more intelligent than North Africa, but not that. There was a gradient. There was like 65 in the Congo. You go up a little more, 70 IQ. You go up to North Africa, 80 IQ, 85 IQ. You know, you go up 90, you go up 100. People didn't notice it. People didn't feel the pain of it. And now we just putting everybody beside everybody, and everybody's society's basically backed on this egalitarian lie where people wanted to shore up insecurities and feel like I'm just as good as the king. I'm equal to the king. All my ancestors played it safe and accepted slavery and being peasants and serfs, but all the people that fought on the battlefield and braved the battlefield, I'm just as good as them. Everybody can feel good if we just believe everybody's blank slates, everybody's equal, even though it violates all the laws of nature. Nothing in nature shows that. Nature don't really care. It just diversifies. What works, works. What doesn't, doesn't. What's best gets passed on and keeps on going. And you're not going to be 1,000 years dealing with winters, having the plan of delaying gratification, saving up to eat through the winter. You're not gonna develop the same way as someone that's in a land full of wild game that can eat food all the time year round with no winter. You've got to develop impulse control to survive in Europe. You've got to develop math and plan for winter and foresight. Whereas you didn't need those skills as quickly, and it made a difference over time. It's just like, and I don't see why people fight this. You've got people who, because of their DNA, have different organs that can breathe up in the Himalayas when other people can't. You've got people that can dive deep in the ocean, that these tribes that have been diving for pearl oysters forever, and their bodies can handle the depths of the ocean better. I don't know why people would think every single thing is genetic except intelligence, except that people would feel better if they just believe everybody's as smart as everybody. And sadly, it's not true. There's people smarter than me, taller than me, stronger than me, more better looking than me, all of these at the same time. But people want to believe that there's some magic X factor that makes everybody equal. And it's just a fucking lie. Yo, what are we talking about? I ain't talking about nothing but getting myself in trouble because I'm supposed to be going to bed. I got work in the morning. Brittany's waiting on me. I'm in here being live, saying stuff that's probably going to get my channel canceled. We're not free in the USA, but we have our guns. That's true. We're not free in the USA. We're occupied. We're an occupied country. We don't control our own money or our own money supply. That's controlled by international Jews, mostly in Italy and England. Shit, we have gun rights, except the Second Amendment is infringed all the time. There's all these regulations that are unconstitutional, and the cops are willing to enforce them. Used to, when you were a slave, you didn't get money, but you got food, clothing, and shelter. Now you get a paycheck, but you can only afford food, clothing, and shelter. I'm not saying we're free at all. We're not even free. Like, there's two ways that people used to say they were free. One, if they were free for real free, and others, if they were free in the sense that they're only enslaved to their king and not some other nation's king. But we're in no sense free, not economically, not politically. Ashkenazi Jews rule over the United States because even during the American Revolution, they took loans from Jews to even found the country. The Masons are useful idiots of the Jews. The Jews founded the Masons and the Bavarian Illuminati. And some other videos I've named names. I ain't got time to name names. You gotta put some work in. You can't just go to Grok or Google quick search. Like one time, somebody went to Google quick search and they said, see, the Google says that a species is when they're able to have genetically viable offspring, but then you can ask it, I'm not getting into all this. I got to go to bed. So we owe the Jews. Now, look, yeah, we're in debt to the Jews, but should we be? Like, they're committing fraud on a massive level, just printing up money out of nowhere, took tons of gold from the American people. At the end of the day, might doesn't make things right, but might decides everything. Everything's decided by force. People argue, they fight about it. Somebody wins, somebody loses. And you can have the country and freedom if you can take it. You can be free if you're willing to be free. But look at how people handle freedom. How do they handle freedom? Men start saying they can be women. People start killing their own babies. The American people aren't responsible enough to handle freedom. It would be a disaster to give them freedom. They don't want freedom. They want freedom to be a degenerate, but they don't really want freedom. They don't want all the responsibility, duty, and obligation that comes with freedom. They just want to feel good saying they're free. They don't really want to be free. You know, freedom comes with a lot of hard work. Alexander the Great said, or his father said, one of them said, I think it was Alexander. He probably stole it from his father. He said that hard work is regal, is royal, and laziness is slavish. I mean, that's what it leads to, you know. Sweat more now, bleed less later. Which jersey? All of them? I don't know what you're talking about. Ever since the fractional reserve bank got set up, they've never been audited. If they were audited, it'd be shown that they never had the capital in the first place. I could make another video explaining this. I'm about to have to go to bed, but basically it's not real debt. We don't really owe them. They've just printed up money based on people's obligations to pay them back, but then they've charged interest. They didn't have the money to begin with to loan out. They just created it off the pledge for it to be paid back. It's kind of complicated. Like legally, technically, did we say we agreed to owe them? But do we really owe them? I don't know. But the American people were largely Christian, and they weren't about to accept a lot of Luciferian leaders. So the founding fathers pretended to be Christian when they really were a bunch of Luciferians for the most part. They pretended to be this like new type of Christian or whatever. They weren't really Christian.